Shalom, y'all. Assalamu alaikum, Islam to all the Moors. Welcome back. This is the free astrotheology course. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Okay, so I found the information that I was looking for. I need to change the title of the video. So what I want to show y'all, hold on. What I want to show you, I discussed that the Clock of Destiny Volume 1 and 2 goes along with the Zodiac Constitution. So I found that. I found it. I don't know how I missed it, but I found it. And this is important to know because when we, hold on y'all, when we do our writs, our, hold on, our Cowarto, affidavit of fact, writ of error, etc., etc., etc. So take a look. When we do our affidavit to affirm that our writ, that the content of our writ, of our writs rather, are true and correct. Give me 1 second. Sorry y'all for not speaking in complete sentences. Okay, so this writ was filed on June 21st, 2022 in the District Court of, the de facto District Court of Howard County. This is an affidavit of fact containing a writ of error. Writ of error. Y'all see that? So now I got this off of enforcetheconstitution.org. Y'all take a look. All right, take a look at that. Okay, so after this writ, you'll find an affidavit. Now take a look at the affidavit. Note that this affidavit is extremely important. You can just take a look at it and read it. I don't have to explain it. Right? It's self-explanatory. But I'm going to read it anyway. So, affidavit, I affirm by virtue of divine law, under the Zodiac Constitution. And so this divine law, under the Zodiac Constitution, of course, is contained, well, it's natural law, nature, but we're getting that from C.M. Bay in volume 1 and 2 of the Clock of Destiny. All right, y'all? That's the point. Okay? So now I'm going to show you that where it's actually at in the Zodiac Constitution. Okay? So that's volume 1. So, and I'm not doing this for fun. But the purpose of me showing you this is because I want to help you recover our culture, our heritage, all right? So this is the Clock of Destiny, Volume 2. Y'all see it? You can download all of these documents that I'm using off of enforcetheconstitution.org, all right, y'all? Enforcetheconstitution.org. Let me see. Okay? So this is what it's referencing in the affidavit. So the writ is really no good. without the affidavit affirming the truth and correctness of the content in the affidavit. That's why it's here. So let's do it. I affirm by virtue of divine law. So you're going to get that in volume 1 and volume 2 of the Clock of Destiny under, notice, under the Zodiac Constitution. Now, when we go through the Zodiac Constitution, you're going to see what that says. I went over that in the session 85, the one immediately before this one. Okay, the class or session immediately before this one. So under the Zodiac Constitution, in other words, you need to know the relationship between the divine law and the Zodiac Constitution. Okay? So they're one in the same document. That's the point I want to make. So I affirm by virtue of divine law under the Zodiac Constitution and upon the United States Republic Constitution and upon the honor of my foremothers and forefathers. That's Exodus chapter 20, verse 12 of the Ten Commandments. That the foregoing affidavit of fact, doesn't matter which affidavit, whether it's a writ of error or whatever, right? This is going to be conceptually the same. That the foregoing affidavit of fact, writ of error in this case, Exhibit C is true and correct. Is true and correct. And remember, your word, as we used to say, your word is bond, my word is bond, right? Your word binds you. When the more speak, the more is speaking truth, the more is speaking law, okay? And that law should be divine law or natural law, to state it a different way, okay? So that's how we see this practically. Now, let's go to the Zodiac Constitution and we can take a look at where it's occurring. Okay, so these first couple citations I'm going to give you are more general, but as we go, they're going to be more specific. So Article 1 of the Zodiac Constitution, you get this also off of enforcetheconstitution.org. Everybody see that? Everybody see it? So that's the Zodiac Constitution, okay, by C.M. Bay, copyright AA 222141, in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. So let's go over to Article 1. Article 1. This is how it reads. The 12 signs of the Zodiac, the code of mathematics scaling from 0 to 9, and the science of geometry comprise the constitution of the living Moorish nation of North America. Isn't the scripture, doesn't it say I'm the God of the living and not the dead? All right. Living as in being in full life civically. So I'm not going to go further than that. Let's continue. Article 2. Article 2. Moorish Zodiac 12 signs. Mathematical constitution. I'm going to skip a little bit. It says free Moors, not subjects who lost their nationality. Free Moors, the Bays and L's, inherited land. Now I'm going to skip over to the next page. The Moorish American nationality and their surnames and their titles, Bay and El, are their inherited birthrights without a legal due process of the lawmakers of the Union Society. In other words, it's your birthright. No one can deny you that. No one can tell you that you cannot use it. It's inherited property. It's your birthright. Of course, unless you're incompetent and you give it up. Let's say they pretend like they don't know, or maybe they legitimately don't know, and you give up. But no one can tell you that you cannot use your title that you got by birthright, that you inherited. Okay, that's common sense, right, scholars? He goes on to say, there is no room, this is Article 3, and I'm not reading all the articles. I'm leading up to my point, to the climax. There is no room in the science of masonry, that's the Zodiac, not Freemasonry, in the science of masonry, that's Ma, Sun, that was remixed in religion, right, as Isis and Horus, Mary and Jesus, and then the religious doctrine, the mysticism, so on and so forth, associated with that. And the Catholics took it so far as to create 30 degrees, in addition to the 3 degrees of Masonry, which is the star, the moon, and the sun. So let me try to find that so we can make the connections together. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all be patient, please. So does everyone remember that there are only 3 degrees of Freemasonry? I should remember these page numbers. If I don't find it right away, y'all, I'll come back to it, okay? But we do need to make these integrations between disciplines and correlations. Where is it? Let's see. I'm close. I am close. But it does feel good when you search for something that you couldn't find and then you find it. And especially when you don't have to work hard to find it. Y'all give me 1 second. Where is it? I may have to come back to it, but we've talked about it before. It's in the other videos. It's in the other sessions, classes. But I'll come back to it if I don't see it. I would like to give you the page number. All right. Okay, here we are. Yeah, here we are. This is on, I should have remembered page 11. The 2 pillars, page 11, right? The covenant of labor or covenant of work, vernal equinox, and then the covenant of grace, the autumn or fall equinox, page 11. it says here at the bottom of the first paragraph, these then are the three great lights. Mercury, remember Mercury is a messenger, Mercury is thought. Thought is a function of the mind, so all is mind. So Mercury, which is wisdom, Sun, S-U-N, Sun, which is strength, and then the Moon, which is beauty. And then the author says these are the three great pillars. He says here of Freemasonry, but he's a Freemason. No, it's three great pillars of Masonry, because he's talking about ancient Masonry, not Freemasonry. Now, second paragraph, this is what he writes. Freemasonry, corrupted by Roman Catholicism, has lost its ancient landmarks. The ancient landmarks would have been just Masonry, and been carried into captivity. And were it not for its oaths and allegiance, would be sunk into ignorance. There can be, and here it is, there can be no more than 3 degrees to Masonry. Okay, so he's using Freemasonry and Masonry interchangeably, but Freemasonry is not ancient, Masonry is. All, listen to this, there can be no more than 3 degrees to Masonry. That's Mercury, which is the star, the S-U-N, Sun, and the Moon. All else are spurious and purposefully invented by Catholicism to create dissension and dissatisfaction. That means to divide and conquer. The 3 first and only true degrees of Masonry are universal, and when given under Hebraic rites, include all there is in the entire 33 degrees of so-called Masonry. In other words, they cut up the 3 degrees, they cut it up and spread it over 33. But listen to what he says. Masonry that debars anyone on account of his religion is not Masonry. Masonry that enjoins an obligation, that means connects an obligation to support the Virgin Mary, is a fraud and no Masonry. Masonry not instituted by the ancient people is worthless and of no account. The sun, the S-U-N, sun, moon, and star are the 3 lights. But a sign has no ruling. And yet the 30, listen y'all, and yet the 30 degrees of a sign were added to make up modern Masonry. So y'all hear that? 30 degrees were added to make up modern Masonry. Why? Well, to bind people with an obligation to venerate the Virgin Mary. Y'all see it? All right, so let's go back to the clock of destiny. So let's go back to Article 3. I'm going to reread it again. Article 3 at the bottom of the last paragraph. There is no room in the science of Masonry, the Zodiac, for mystic, lowercase G-O-D, for mystic God religious worship. That's the Catholicism, okay? Those 30 extra degrees. Race, color, ignorance. So the race would be what? Negro, Caucasian, Asian, all of that. Color, black, white, yellow, brown people, right? Ignorance. Ignorance can be of any sort. Ignorance, ignore, or to be indifferent about something. Ignorance, war, crime, slavery, and human injustice. there wasn't a devil or a demon or any mysticism or anything like that mentioned. Okay, so those of you Christians and Hebrew Israelites who may have a religious orientation, this has nothing to do with spooky stuff, gods, devils, and demons that you may have in your mind. This is about nature and natural law that govern nature and consciousness, okay? So let's go over, let's continue. Okay, now let's stop at Article 6 on page 6. Article 6, page 6. That's very interesting, isn't it? 6 and 6. Oh, you religious people, you Hebrew Israelites, and you Christians, 6 and 6 is not evil. Six is the first perfect number. So 6 and 6 and 6, let's say a triple 6, that's representing what? Perfect rulership. But anyway, let's continue. Article 6, page 6. The subtitle is The One and Only Universal Moral Law for Unity, Peace, and Economic and Social Progress. So here's how it reads. This is Article 6. The Moorish Zodiac Constitution is the only universal, unchanged moral law for the human family. Now, I can speak to this because morality, wherever you go in the world, the standards of morality are different. I can guarantee you that. The morality in Japan, or let's say Korea, the morality in Korea is vastly different than the morality in Vietnam, than the morality in Philippines, than the morality in China. All of the Southeast Asian nations, okay? Vastly different in Thailand, vastly different. Vastly different. Okay? So what CMB is telling us here, again, he said it is the only universal, unchanged moral law for the human family. And y'all, it's my opinion. I don't know. I'm just telling y'all my opinion that he's using human connotatively. For the family of men, or for the Asiatic family, okay? It's the only law for the human family for unity, which we don't have, right? It says human equality, so let's change that. Asiatic equality or man equality, respect, peace, and economic and social progress. We certainly don't have that, right? So what's the way to get back to it? By following the Most High's commandments, which are natural law. He continues, and this is the point. Here's the point that I want to emphasize. Therefore, every more, so every means 100%, not 99.9. Therefore, every more, we're talking about living Moors, Moors who are civilly alive, Moors who are in full life. Therefore, every Moor, the Bays and Els, must be guided by this constitution and book, quote unquote, clock of destiny. So let me show y'all this. Now do y'all see why this is in the affidavit? I have it underlined. Y'all read that? Read that, please. Okay, pause it on the replay if y'all need to read it again. All right. So still not a devil, demon, or supernatural anything mentioned yet. Now let's go to the bottom of page 6. Knowledge of the zodiac masonry as shown in this Moorish constitution and also in my book, quote unquote, Clock of Destiny, volume 1 and 2 will prevent a Moorish American, he or she, from indulging in crime. So here it is. Y'all take a look at that. And everything in nature is consistent, or is rather, the Most High's laws. So nobody can misconstrue anything contained in the Clock of Destiny or the Zodiac Constitution as being demonic in the religious sense of the word, the Christian sense of the word, of the devil, right? Okay. This is all nature and the principles or laws that govern nature. Now let's continue. Article 6, page 7. 6 and 7 is 13. 12 apostles, one son, the Son of God, that's 13. Altogether, that's perfect rulership. Okay, Article 6, page 7. And by the way, perfect rulership can have to do with a nation, an empire, and what? Perfect rulership over one's self. Self-governance, the higher self. Anyway, but let's keep it going. Page 7. This Constitution card, that's a nationality card. So this Constitution card, which is a nationality card, and book, that's the Clock of Destiny, definitely does not protect criminals. Beware. So what is he telling us? He's telling us that these three, you notice it's a trinity, these three go together. He continues, the Clock of Destiny, Moorish American card, that's a nationality card. Moorish American card of identification, that's a nationality card. And Constitution, Zodiac Constitution, has been registered in the Library of Congress and signed by the author, C.M. Bay. Okay, scholars, so here you are. Can y'all see that? Hopefully, I hope y'all can see it. Let me see. Yeah. Hope y'all can see that. All right. So pause it on the replay, please. Everybody see it? Now, let's continue. Article 7. Article 7, second paragraph, page 7. Okay. The Negro, that's race, right? The Negro is the property of the Union slaveholders. The Moors must respect the court by saying, listen, y'all, I affirm. The Moors must respect the court, the de facto court, by saying, I affirm. Let's go back to the writ of error that we looked at. The writ of error filed in the de facto district court for Howard County, July 21, 2022. This is an affidavit of fact, writ of error. Okay. Let's go back to the affidavit. Y'all take a look at that. All right. See, it all checks out, right? I affirm. Okay? The Moors, these are the living Moors, the civilly alive Moors, must respect the court, the de facto court, by saying, quote unquote, I affirm. Here the court has no jurisdiction over them. Okay? Now, I want to skip down to, but of course, you know, now we know that you have to end or correct your status in contracts that you might have with the U.S. or the state of whatever, marriage license, commercial licenses, so on and so forth, by reserving your rights, okay, or terminating those contracts, whatever your situation requires. Only you can decide what you need to do in those situations. But you do have to correct. You have to nationalize those. I don't know how to say it. To nationalize those documents, either cancel them, terminate them for fraud, etc., or correct your status, put your free and national name on there. So it would be the straw-L, straw-bay, etc. Okay, y'all? So where am I? Where am I, y'all? Okay, he goes on to say, here the court has no jurisdiction over them, which automatically qualifies them to defend themselves by their Zodiac constitution law and their mathematical number 9. The number 9 corresponds with the letter I, so the number 9 corresponds with the letter I, based on the 9 months from conception to birth, which makes you, yourself, the great I am. The great I am. That's coming from Exodus chapter 3. Okay? So the number 9 corresponds with the letter I based on the 9 months from conception to birth, which makes you yourself the great I am. Right? And by the way, when your first awareness is that I am, I exist. And that's actually the root word, which is a verb, for the Tetragrammaton. So you'll hear people on YouTube, they'll say, heya, it's Strong's number H19, I think it's 1961 or 1961, something like that. All right. But I go through that in my book. It's a brown book. It's called, the title is Phoenician Hebrew 101. I take you through the Tetragrammaton and what it means in its various tenses. Okay? And much, much more. So y'all, the link to, you can buy that book on Amazon. Okay? You can buy it on Amazon. Phoenician Hebrew 101. It's a brown book. Now he continues. He says, you, yourself, the great I am, the first and the highest law of self-protection and self-preservation in harmony with your 12 zodiac signs, unchanged constitution, moral law of 360 degrees squared by your number 9. So there's a circle, right? And then there's the solstitial line, summer solstice, winter solstice, and then the equinoctial line, right? Vernal or spring equinox, and then there's the fall or autumn equinox. So there's 90 degrees between these angles, okay? And then 360 degrees, okay? Then there are 7 planets, so circle 7, 5 luminaries, 5 planets, 2 luminaries, they're counted together as 7 planets, all right? Circle 7. But there's much more to that, right? 7 days of the week, 7 orifices in your face, so on and so forth. But let's keep it moving. There's something else I wanted to say. Okay. So let's go back to page 7. He says, which automatically qualifies them to defend themselves by their Zodiac Constitution law. So, of course, the Constitution for the United States of North America, the organic, is based in natural law. And, of course, the supreme law of the land is that Constitution and the treaties, which would include the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1836, between the Moroccan Empire and the United States for North America, the foreign United States, all right? Relative to we living civilly alive Moors who are living in harmony with our ancient foremothers and forefathers who are harmonic with nature, right? We have adopted the mindset and lifestyle of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers so that it may go well with you in the land that I am giving you. So the land, that's the entire inheritance, okay? Including your nobility and everything else. You can reference Deuteronomy chapter 28, 1 through 14 to get more on that. So not just physical or geographical land. There's much, much more to it. Okay, there's also state of mind. The state of mind of abundance and positive expectancy is completely different and, in fact, opposite to the state of mind of punishments and curses and, expecting bad luck and negative outcomes. Completely different. Also with regard to state of mind, the Hermetic law of mental gender, masculine mental gender, feminine mental gender. The masculine mental gender is your great I am, your nationality, your bloodline, your pedigree, right? Right? The feminine mental energy acts on the will of your masculine mental energy. That's correct, right? That's right. If you study the Hermetic Laws, you're going to find that out. Or if you watch the sessions that I have done, the live streams I have done, you should know that already if you've been following my work. So that if you don't know your nationality, meaning you're civilly dead, all right, you're in that shallow grave. You're not standing up. You're not in full life civilly. So as the story goes, or when you read in the Kybalion, this is about the 7 Hermetic Laws. What you're gonna see is a story about a cuckoo bird, which lays its eggs in another bird's nest. All right, and it's illustrating a phenomenon where that cuckoo bird steals the birthright of another bird, another species of bird. Y'all see it? That cuckoo bird, the egg, is gonna hatch early and throw the other eggs out of the nest. And then the mother bird, not knowing what happened, will nourish and feed the baby cuckoo bird. Y'all see it? See the relationship? So what's happening here anybody who has a weak masculine mental energy, it means they don't even much know who they is. My mother used to say that. They don't know their nationality. They don't know the law. They don't know natural law, meaning that they're stuck in religion, or maybe they're stuck in a religion that you get out of the church, or the religion that you get out of a university. Sometimes people call it atheism. But in either case, their life is driven by beliefs and dogma. So these people can be controlled by another person or group who has a strong masculine mental energy. It means that they know where they come from. For example, the hybrids know that their father is the chimpanzee. They know their whole story. It's preserved in Freemasonry. There's no secret. They know it. So that being the case, anybody can put a cuckoo bird's egg in your brain. I think Consul General Lamont Maurice L. during civics class called it, Inception. He referred to a movie, I think, about Inception, where ideas are put into your mind and then the person begins to act. Well, it's the same thing. That's referencing the Hermetic Law of mental gender. That person who has a weak masculine mental energy. Okay? The subconscious mind, or the feminine mental energy, will be activated by the stronger masculine mental energy. Either yours or somebody else's who's trying to plant that seed or that idea in your head, that cuckoo bird's egg in your head. And then you begin to act out behavior and thoughts that you think are yours because they're in your head, but they're not. That's not you. That's not you. This is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali told us to be ourselves. He's teaching us to be ourselves and that we're not Negro, black, colored, so on and so forth. Everybody see the relationship here? Okay, now let's continue. Article, where are we? Oh, page 8, Article 7, page 8. Okay. The Moorish Constitution is referred to in Christian mythology as, quote unquote, the Holy Quran, K-O-R-A-N, or Al-Quran, A-L space K-O-R-A-N, meaning the earth, the moon, the sun, the S-U-N sun, and the 7 planets, or the chronology, zodiac record of the Moorish nation of the North Gate, North America. Not a devil, not a demon, not a spooky this or spooky that mentioned in the entire discussion. So there's no reason for you religious people, you Hebrew Israelites or you Christians, to say that this is of the devil or evil or wicked. You can only conclude based on this evidence, now y'all go read it yourself, that this is consistent with the Most High's laws and commandments from a religious point of view. From a religious point of view, just go look at the 10 Commandments. Okay? Those are at their essence natural law. Well, they are natural law. I don't even have to say that at their essence. They're a natural law. And nobody needs to tell you those things, right? They're self-evident. It's natural. last paragraph, and this I thought was interesting. This is a side point. If the lawmakers of the 50 Union States Society of North America should attempt to ignore the Moorish American Zodiac law and birthrights of this Constitution, it would be an act of supreme violation of their own Magna Carta Code. So in other words, they have an obligation. Y'all see that? They have an obligation. Okay? But anyway, that's that as far as this topic is concerned. So I'm going to end this video. And I'm going to come right back and get right back on with Virgo. So Islam to all the Moors, assalamu alaikum. Y'all just wait a second. Okay, give me a minute just to change the title of the video, and then I'll be right back. Shalom.